I have remade the video by Claire pop-up wow card. She has it on her YouTube channel, Created the Ottaway. I only modified her base so that I'm not using a 12 by 12 sheet, and this also fits into a regular A2 envelope. Oh, pardon my pine needles, I thought I cleaned them all up. And yes, I cut a piece of DSP from my envelope flap, but it will fit in there just fine. So you start with a 11 by 5.5 base, score it at 3 3/4, 5.5, 7 1/4, and you get an M. Burnish all your edges well, or you could do a W. You still need to burnish your edges, of course. Oh. For the front, I cut a piece of excuse me, 5 3/8 by 3, 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. Those 8s really mess with my brain today. I know Peggy's going to have a hard time with this one. Oh, I didn't mean for this card to end up being monochromatic when I grabbed the piece of DSP. But it worked out that way. I was going to flip sides, but that side's more of a green pool party. Although it does go okay with the other side, but it doesn't go well with my Pacific Point paper. Oh, I need to grab a drink. This is about my 4th attempt now on this video. Let's see if I can do this one without making a mess of the card or having Kitty Chaos interrupt me. I have not figured out the art of editing my videos yet, so I have to start over each time and cut new papers. And I had already started over 3 times with the previous cards, and I just finished the card off. It turned out pretty. At least I think so. I just put the adhesive on the wrong side. Oh, dear Lord. Okay, we're going with the green side. I will figure out how to make that work. I am not going to start over again. I might tear it off later and put the snowflakes on there. I took a 12 by 12 sheet of DSP and I cut it down to be 5 3/8 to start off with. And to keep all of my snowflakes in line while I'm doing this, somehow I'm already messed up. I had it so that they all lined up. Oh, it would help if I had them in the right order. I wrote on the back. I cheated. So this one here is 3. This is 1, 2, and 4. So then I just gotta figure out how they were supposed to be. Up, down, sideways, whatever. And I kept it in line and just cut straight across. Oh, I guess that does work. There we go. Now they all line up. I would suggest using a paper that is not needing to be lined up. Although you don't see a lot of this card, the DSP, but you do see down here. And you would know if it had a definite pattern that lined up somewhere, you would see it. I would suggest something that does not follow across with distinctive lines. My very first one I did with a scenery paper. That was a big mistake. I cut these 2 pieces from 6 by 6 and I cut them exactly the same, so my scenery got whacked in half and started over. This one is from a 12 by 12 cut at 5 3/8 right off the top, and then 3 3/8 no, 3 5/8, 1 5/8, 1 5/8, 3 5/8, and they're all 3 3/8 tall. Told you those eighths were gonna mess with me. But like I said, you don't see so much of this paper that it really matters, unless it's something that's very obvious should line up. I don't know where I went crooked there. It's hard to see on this Night of Navy paper. Those are the only measurements I changed from Claire's video, was just the base. I did recreate the whole card. It's all here. And we will reassemble it now. I should go through my stack of do-overs and just assemble them all. Okay, so this piece, your DSP foil or glitter in my case, is, well, first the tower part is 4.5 tall by 4 wide. You score it at 1, 2, and 3. And you attach your pretty paper on the 3rd section. I don't know where I got this cough from. Probably too much talking all day trying to redo this video. And then on this one, it would go on the 2nd panel. And you cut 2 of these. 4.5 tall by 4 wide. Score it at 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go ahead and use the seal tape for attaching this part. Find your center and butt it up against your center seam. And stick it down there good. And put adhesive on this part. She used liquid glue on her entire video, which would work just fine. And then just make sure it's stuck there good. There's your first tower or panel section, pillar. I think she called them panels in her video. I really can't remember. And then just try to make sure you get this one here in the same spot. Boy, I'm sure glad that seal stuff doesn't attach instantly. I didn't get it all the way up against the center seam there. With a little kittywampus in that way. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Between me and the kittens, that poor tripod's been knocked around a lot today. I think I've got them down for naps now. Now it's just me knocking it around. There. Now you have your 2 towers on there. And that glitter paper is really bright. Then for your second towers or shorter pillars, you do cut 2, and they are 3.5 tall by 4 wide. You score them at 1, 2.5, and 3.5. So then you get your 4 inches high. I'm sorry, 3.5 inches high. Scored at 1, 2.5, and 3.5. And these pieces are actually going to go backwards. I think they should have been. Well, this one doesn't. This here part, the little 1/2 inch, glues down to your base. This 1 inch piece attaches to that first tower. Your DSP pieces, I wonder how this would look. No, not doing it. I thought maybe I'd flip the paper over and make it match the outside a little bit. Nope, not doing it. I just glued this to my table. Oh, it's not going to matter because these don't have to line up the pattern on this, because they're going to be so far apart from each other that you really aren't going to tell that they do or don't match. I'm sure you would if you used something like a little winter critter or an animal of some sort, or a car, and you had the back of the car on the wrong end, which would be kind of cute. So then go ahead and put adhesive on your 1-inch scored area on this side over here. Your little 1/2 inches on your left. Find your center of here and just close it down on there. And then I have to turn it upside down. Put adhesive on your 1/2 inch piece. Try not to go over like I did. Oops. And then fold that down. And look at that. Oops, that piece ain't staying very good. Starting to look kind of pretty. And then again on this side, your 1-inch piece is on your left. It attaches to the center column. Find the middle, or center it, I mean. Go right up against it. Close it down. And then adhesive on the little 1/2 inch part. And I'm gonna just close the whole card up here. Isn't that cute? Oh, I guess I need some more adhesive in the middle there. This piece, I called the center peak. I don't know if she had a name for it in her video or not. I watched her video and paused it and rewound it and all that, trying to get these measurements. And oops, I suppose I should attach the DSP first. I don't remember what I was saying. Get myself so sidetracked. Like I said, this is like, I feel like deja vu here. I've repeated this video a few times. Oh, I'll be careful not to stick anything there besides my sweater. And I don't think I cut these to match anything. I used up scraps on these 2 pieces here and these 2 pieces here. The rest was cut straight across from the 12 by 12 piece, and then I cut this here piece off first, and then everything that was left over, cut up these little pieces, and this is all that's left from that 12 by 12 sheet. There's little tiny, oh, that's from the envelope. These scraps don't count. They're from cutting off the flap of the envelope. But this is all that's left of that 12 by 12 sheet. And I'm still going to use something on the very back side. I'm sure same measurements as you did for your front. 5 3/8 by 3 5/8 mat if you want. And 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. I'm going to do a piece of white and then snip off a piece of one of these. Possibly run it this way. I haven't really given that much thought. Or do a smaller piece, maybe a 3/4 inch by 3 5/8. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the front. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this card. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about this. I'm gluing on the glitter. I'm going to have to use some glue on that part. it's going to attach here, and I'm pretty sure I have to use some liquid glue to glue this down onto glitter. And oops, I just glued it to myself. Forgot I had adhesive on there. Go ahead and put your adhesive on here. She did hers on foil. This here part was on foil, or was foil. And so the tape runner would work just fine. But, and the nice thing about glue, you can wiggle around a little bit. You need to get it in the middle of this piece, centered this way, and center it this way to that. And then once you have it there, carefully close it up, and I don't know, say your ABCs or something. Give it some time to sit there. It takes a bit when you're dealing with glitter. Voila. Isn't that a cute card? She did trees on hers. I think I'm going to go with some snowflakes. I might die cut some with this glitter paper. But as for right now, I had no intentions of decorating this card. It was only to show the modifications in the base measurements and a quick replay on how to assemble it. And I think it turned out kind of cute. Depending on how you look at it, it's an M or a W, but for wow, considering it's going to sit like that on somebody's shelf, it's an M. All right. Enjoy.